YCA Africa Development Bank Youth Adapt Award Ceremony. My name is Alan Kasuja. Thank you very much for joining us wherever you're joining us from. It's good to have you all here, those in the room here in Glasgow and everybody else who might be joining us online. Thank you very much again for joining us. I'd like to introduce you to the guests. We have and they are bringing their expertise and sharing their time with us so that we can impact on the young people. Who are the young people in this room? Can I hear some voices from the young people? Come on, guys. Did you not have breakfast? Let's get it one more time. Young people. You look very young, President Adesina. Young at heart is a good place to start as well. You know, Africa is the youngest continent in the world, and the future of Africa is with the young people. President Adesina, the first time I met him was in 2014 at the annual meetings in Kigali, and he was the Minister of Agriculture at the time, and he talked about the young people and the fact that it was important to make sure that the young people in Africa are given the capacity to own their future. So that's what that is what today is about, enabling these young people to do that. There are a lot of very important people in this room today. We'll acknowledge them as we go along, but to get us started, I'd like to introduce you to Professor Anthony Nyong. He's the Regional Director for Africa Global Center. He's going to be speaking about Youth Adapt, this challenge that has brought us all together. He'll also be introducing us to AAP and also the Youth Adapt, which is of course part of the Youth Adapt flagship. Anthony is here from the bank. Thank you very much.
It's not the first time I'm hearing of a AAP. There's somebody AAA. The African Development Bank is AAA rated, and I'm very sure the GCA also. So we all know that everyone is putting so much attention on the road to carbon neutrality. But the truth is that even on that path, there'll be a lot of casualties. And most of those casualties will be among those on the front line. And the African continent definitely is on that front line. So what has happened is two great institutions have come together to say, look, enough is enough. We need to chart a pathway for Africa's total resilience. So the African Development Bank and the Global Center on Adaptation came together and set up the Africa Adaptation Acceleration Program. This program basically seeks to mobilize about $25 billion over 5 years to drive adaptation and resilience on the continent. The African Development Bank has already committed 12.5 of this, which is really what we need to be able to unlock the remaining 12.5 billion. So what it does is it looks and operates the vision of the Africa Adaptation Initiative, gives value to the Africa Adaptation Initiative. And what came out of it is that after very extensive consultations, we identified 4 clear, bold ideas that would move this continent forward, create a very serious step change. And this came from the NDCs, the NAPs, and all the other strategies. So we come up with 4. The first is that we need to integrate climate-smart services and digital technology into our agriculture. Currently, if it rains, we eat. It doesn't rain, we starve. That should not be the way to go. We need to be able to ride that crest. The second bold idea that we have is on infrastructure. About 70% of Africa's infrastructure is yet to be built. So we need to build it right, build resilience into our infrastructure, and we have a lot of opportunities for nature-based solutions that we are implementing. Then the third is our youth. Like Alan has said, it's a very youthful continent. Median age, 19.7 years. We need to create jobs. We need to invest in the youth. We need to build entrepreneurship. And one of those is what we're doing here today. The fourth is on finance. We cannot keep doing the same thing and expecting different results. We need to think, how do we come up with innovative financing solutions? So we have identified a couple that we're working on, and I won't take you too far into that. Here, we're talking about the youth, basically. We pay so much attention to the youth, and that's why we're all gathered here. And I want to believe either you're young or you're young at heart for being here. We've come through a very serious process to pick 20 of Africa's best young entrepreneurs. And then we screened that to have 10. So this is a long line of what we did to show you how rigorous that initiative was. And what would be the benefits to these young people here today? The first is that successful entrepreneurs will be given up to $100,000 to grow their businesses. By whatever currency you look at it, that's a lot of money. But we're targeting the missing middle. We've seen others who give 5,000, 10,000 here and there. That can't really move you. That missing middle is what we're looking at. The missing middle that can take straight to commercialization immediately. Then we provide those people with 1 year incubation period. We incubate your business, we train you, we work with experienced entrepreneurs to get you to where you become commercially viable. And then when that happens, you now have the opportunity to access larger SME funds that are dedicated to the youths. So this is where we are today, and I'm glad that we have a panel that's really going to give out these awards to our young people today to encourage them, and we'll be looking for partnerships. This year it's 10. I'm hoping that next year we'll make it 30, and it keeps growing in bounds because the opportunities exist on the African continent. Thank you very much.
Professor Nyong, thank you very much.
Here I go. The Global Center.
And now let's watch that video. It's a 1-minute video that sums up what the vision of the award is.
Here I go. The Global Center on Adaptation and the African Development Bank joined forces and launched the Africa Adaptation Acceleration Program called AAAP. We are mobilizing $25 billion to scale up climate change adaptation actions and drive investments in green growth. Because the time for action is now.
AAAP is built on 4 pillars: climate-smart digital technologies for agriculture and food security, infrastructure resilience, innovative financial initiatives, and empowering youth through jobs and entrepreneurship. Under the youth component, AAAP launched the African Youth Adaptation Solutions Challenge.
We have to empower the next generation, our youth. So that's why I'm delighted that today, together with President Adesina, we're launching a Youth Adaptations Challenge. It's launched today. It will support young entrepreneurs in Africa to accelerate and incubate new businesses. Those types of innovations, those types of breakthroughs, that's exactly what we need.
Join us today as we announce the winners of the challenge. We have to make climate adaptation everyone's business. The time for adaptation is now.
The time for adaptation is now, and let's give a round of applause to GCA and the African Development Bank. This is exciting stuff, absolutely exciting. Africa is full of ideas, young Africans are full of ideas, they just need a little bit of a push. And $100,000 is definitely transformative. I just want to introduce you to the people you're seeing in front of you. I'm going to start with the lady on this. And please allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to introduce you to Mafalda du Toit. She is the Chief Executive Officer, Climate Investment Funds. Let's give her a round of applause and thank her very much. climate investment fund. So money, climate, you can connect the dots. And then I'd also like to introduce you, ladies and gentlemen, there's also doctor and professor in there, but I'll start with Professor Dr. Patrick Vaccaro, who is the Chief Executive Officer, Global Center on Adaptation. Let's give him a round of applause. You saw him speaking here. President Akinwumi Adesina, who is the President of the African Development Bank. Let's give him a round of applause. And last but not least, sir, he is, of course, the Honorable Keriako Tobiko, who is the Minister for Environment, Forestry in the Republic of Kenya. Let's give him a round of applause. Before taking up his position as the Cabinet Secretary, he was also the Chief Prosecutor in Kenya, the Director of Prosecutions in Kenya. So he's a lawyer who is now dealing with the environment. And I think that's a very important combination to understand policy and to help formulate it. So it's really good to have you all here. To get started, I'd like President Adesina to come and make his opening remarks and to just share the vision with us. Let's give him a round of applause as he does that.
Thank you very much, Sajay. It's very good to see you, and thank you for agreeing to moderate this event for us. It's good when we have great people like you at the global stage with your voice. I wish I would have your voice for radio sometime. But thank you very much. Put your hands to him. It's a good guy. And good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Youth Adapt Award ceremony that is co-sponsored by the African Development Bank Group and the Global Center for Adaptation. I'm delighted to have with us the Cabinet Secretary, Professor Vaccaro, and the CEO of the Climate Investment Fund. Thank you for being here. I'm delighted that we are joined by eminent personalities who are also served as judges for this particular competition, and by the many young people joining us today from all over the world. Welcome to the Youth Day, your day, right here in the Africa Pavilion. Africa's demographic advantage, the youngest population in the world, must be turned into an economic dividend. We must transform the continent's young, dynamic population into innovative business leaders and solution providers for the challenges of today and also for those of tomorrow. It is quite possible that the only generation that has lived through a time of challenges, such as what you are going through today, was a generation that lived during the first industrial revolution. Through innovation and technology, they turned challenges into opportunities. The world is at its best when it taps into the innovation and the creativity of the younger generation. Their ingenuity has always been at the forefront of every industrial revolution. They will not be deterred or defined by the limits or the challenges that they see. They break barriers and develop business models that transform lives. As we gather here today, I'd just like you to just imagine what you can do by connecting social and digital media platforms in real time. Many of you who have joined us via Zoom today, that's great. But guess what? Young people develop that too. You break barriers and you set new pathways. The innovative capacity that Africa has is in you, and it must be unleashed. Ladies and gentlemen, nothing is more challenging today than climate change. Africa doesn't contribute more than 7% of the greenhouse gas emissions, but it has a disproportionately higher level of burden from its impacts. The continent loses $7 to $15 billion a year from climate change. And if things continue the way they are without any efforts to have adaptation, that will rise to $50 billion by 2040. By that time, I will be 61 years old. Many of you here, as I look at you, you'll probably be in your 40s. Without a healthy planet, young people have no place to prosper. The future you want to live in is therefore for you to build, because you'll have to live in it. We believe in the entrepreneurial capacity and the creativity of Africa's youth. The African Development Bank and the Global Center for Adaptation have therefore joined hands and pulled our resources together to back you. I am delighted that the winners of the Youth Adapt Award will each receive a grant of $100,000 to take your businesses to even greater heights. Our logo at the bank says it all. We are building today a better future for Africa tomorrow. But only you, the youth, can help shape and make a difference for that future. A future driven by new technologies. A future with climate-smart and digital information systems. A future that takes advantage of opportunities offered by a new green economy. And that economy is worth $3 trillion. And that's why the African Development Bank and the Global Center for Adaptation have launched this Youth Adapt Award. Our goal is simply to identify, to incentivize, and to support the youth to tackle Africa's huge adaptation challenges. Because of you, Africa will have a better and more resilient future. Now, whatever your age, whatever your location, whatever your vocation, use your talents as young people to help to transform Africa. Today, we recognize the winners of the Youth Adapt Awards. Together, let us chart a new climate-resilient future, because anything less than that is simply unacceptable. Our generation has a duty, a responsibility, a moral obligation to listen to you and ensure that your voice, hopes and aspirations for the world you want to see are integrated into what we do today. You have the power to bring about the change that you want. So guys, go ahead and make it happen. We are here to support that. Thank you and welcome again.
Let's give President Adesina a louder round of applause. Absolutely inspiring stuff, absolutely inspiring. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm now going to ask Professor Dr. Patrick Vaccaro to come and speak. As you've heard, he's the Chief Executive Officer, Global Center on Adaptation.
Thank you so much, Alan. Let me first also acknowledge, yes, the African Development Bank is a AAA organization. But please also remember, it is Akimumi A. Adesina, AAA himself. So we have a global leader here at the African Development Bank, and it is clearly one who is driving this AAAP agenda. Minister Tobiko, I have to admit something. When I went to Nairobi last week, we released our new State and Trends in Adaptation Africa report. And I have to say, particularly our conversation before the launch event was moving, and it was moving for a particular reason. You said, sir, Africa cries when the rains don't come. But Africa also cries when it is raining. And we had our launch event. It was a big show. President Adesina was there. You, Minister, you were there. The President of Kenya was there. Kristalina Georgieva, IMF, was there. And we released the report. And the report had a very simple message. it makes economic sense to invest in adaptation. But it is one thing to say that. You, sir, you said, well, it's great, you on stage, you spoke way too long. That's what I did. Go out of Nairobi. So I went to Mukuru. Mukuru is one of these informal settlements. And there I saw there are no services, there's no water, there's no sanitation. When it rains, these people are suffering. But when I came back to the venue, we saw outside young entrepreneurs, young folks who had businesses. They showed to us what they were doing now with drought-tolerant seedlings, which are brought to local communities. So I asked them, what do you need? What do you need to scale this up? They said, we need access to finance.
Yeah.
We need access to finance, we need to be trained, we need to know how to build a business case. We have our ideas because they're here. They showed it to us. Fast forward, President Adesina and I, we co-convened with President Tshisekedi a few days ago, African leaders. The largest ever Africa Adaptation Summit at the COP. African leaders from developed nations. They came together and basically my takeaway, if I can say, President Adesina, was this sort of very strong message from African leaders: adapt or die. African leaders, one after the other, said, well, we have a choice to make. We either delay, pay, and suffer, or we plan, invest, and prosper. And they said, that's not a difficult choice. We know where to go. We African leaders, we will put our own resources on the table. We need developed nations not only to match up, but to deliver what they promised before, because we did not create this problem. Now, young leaders coming in. I think it's excessively important that the African Development Bank in the lead, and we as a GCA, as a young organization, we join forces to empower young businesses. This is not a handout. What we said in our adaptation report, there is a business proposition. We've seen them, I have seen them. Mr. Minister, you've met with them last week. So I'm very delighted that today we will announce 10 winners. Cynical people back at home will say, well, 10 winners, is that sort of transformation? It's the beginning of this adaptation revolution in Africa, because the clear message last Tuesday was, and I hope it is today as well, Africa adaptation is unstoppable. It's unstoppable because the economic case is strong, the moral case is strong, the business case is strong. So today we will announce the 10 winners. But when we do, I also want to call upon those 10 winners who will receive the $100,000 in grant, that they become part of this movement, that they will share their vision of success with other business leaders coming behind them. Because this announcement today is the beginning of a revolution of young business entrepreneurship on adaptation. I'm delighted to be part of this. Quite frankly, I'm humbled to be part of this. And again, Mr. Minister, Africa cries when the rains are not coming, and Africa cries when the rains do come. But I think there is a strong message of hope, so let's build upon that. Thank you very much indeed.
Let's give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Professor Dr. Patrick Vaccaro, very, very powerfully said. Thank you very much. The Honorable Keriako Tobiko, Minister for Environment and Forestry, Republic of Kenya. Sir, the floor is yours to make your remarks.
This one.
Okay. President of the African Development Bank and my friend Patrick and Mom, and the Generation Unlimited, good morning. Patrick, I don't know what is it, good morning. Patrick, today I assure you will not take long. You give a lawyer a microphone. That's how we charge. We charge by how long you take on your feet. So, but today I'll make it short. It's a great day. Absolutely great day for Africa. Our youth are not leaders for tomorrow or of tomorrow. You are leaders of today and you're leaders of now. The saying, actually it's not a saying, it's a truth, that we have not inherited this earth from our ancestors. We have borrowed it from our children. That's exactly what it is. It's not ours. We, and when I say we, the leaders now here on the podium, we're trustees, but we have messed it up. We have messed up your future. We have messed up the future of our children, your children, and generations to come. You have taken up the mantle. Don't wait for us to bequeath you that. We shall hold your hand by giving you the necessary means, the mentoring, the tools to take up the leadership. And the salvation of Africa belongs not in us. It belongs in you. Congratulate those of you who have won this award. Congratulate those who participated and have not won. They actually are winners nonetheless. And they should be more motivated to ensure, come the next cycle of the award, they win. Please utilize it well. Build your communities. Build your communities. Mentor others and train others. Our president, as you know, was in 2018, 2019, appointed as the UN champion on the youth agenda. That really sits very well with this. The origin of man is Africa. The greatest suffering of man caused by externalities is in Africa. But the salvation of humanity and the planet lies in Africa. And President Adesina, you have already demonstrated with African Development Bank and GCA that Africa provides the solution. We have been negotiating and discussing about how to operationalize Articles 7 of the Paris Agreement, global goal. You have come with a model, a template. There's no more excuse for us to engage in endless debates about operationalizing. You, working with GCA, have a model in the triple AP, which again is aligned to the double AP for Africa. We trust in you. We believe in you. Posterity is counting on you. Don't wait any longer for us. Take up the mantle. Thank you very much, and God bless you. I hope I've taken the shortest time ever.
Let's give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. That is the Honorable Keriako Tobiko, Minister of Environment and Forestry from the Republic of Kenya. I'd like to introduce you to Ms. Mafalda du Toit, Chief Executive Officer, Climate Investment Funds. Please come and make some comments.
Is this working? Yes. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you online, and to those of you here, of course, good morning. It's my real pleasure to be here in this event of the African Development Bank and the GCA. Friends here, I have worked for many years at the African Development Bank. It was my previous home, so I'm delighted to be here. Patrick and I have worked together at the World Bank as well, so we are old friends, so it's a real honor to be here. We've heard, I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to match this passion of my previous speakers, but I'll do my best. we are hearing, and we've heard today as well, nations are making stronger and stronger efforts to decarbonize our global economy and reduce greenhouse gas emissions. We know that a lot more needs to be done, and at a much faster pace, a much greater speed. But the fact of the matter is that our climate is already over 1 degree Celsius warmer than pre-industrial levels. And because of that, we are already experiencing the impacts of such changes in the climate system. And what this translates into is the devastation of lives, livelihoods, and the economy. And Africa has been bearing the brunt of these impacts. So we have to certainly double, now it stopped working, okay. So certainly we, stopped again, okay. Just to create some excitement. Exactly. So as we double our efforts to mitigate climate change through the decarbonization, need to be all hands on deck with adaptation to climate change that we have already committed to and what might be around the corner with our current development trajectory. And we hear often as well, it's the same, there's a narrative, and it applies to youth and applies to women as well, of vulnerability, of particular vulnerability to the impacts of climate change. But I like to think of these, and I know this from my heart, that youth is like the same as women. We are powerful agents of change. This is how we need to be seen, is powerful agents of change. And we have witnessed it in the past few years, what pivotal role this youth had played in bringing about change. The voice, the advocacy of youth in the past few years has been incredible, and it's making a real impact. But beyond this voice, these climate protests, this advocacy, this activism, the youth has a lot more to contribute, because you are driven, you are creative, and you are bold. So responding to this call for the Adaptation Solutions Challenge, we had over 2,000 youth-led climate adaptation-focused businesses. And what this has done is given us a glimpse of the innovative energy and the can-do spirits of the youth in Africa. The breadth and the width of the ideas and business solutions to tackling the many impediments caused by climate change in the continent are really, really inspiring, and you'll be hearing about them today when we give the awards. The imagination and determination of the youth have no bounds. So it has been very difficult, and I know many were involved in the difficult process of selecting these 10 ultimate winners for this year's challenge. But we have done it, and we are very proud to be part of this process. The Climate Investment Funds is very, very proud to collaborate with the GCA and the African Development Bank on this journey that is just the beginning. And we look forward to actually further supporting this initiative with our investments. Over the course of this COP, we have made announcements of new investment programs, significant capital that we will be receiving and managing. And we actually have dedicated climate venture windows to support young entrepreneurs. So we very much hope that this journey shall help these incredible young entrepreneurs turn their brilliant ideas into really thriving businesses and change the climate resilience solutions, bring about game-changing solutions in the continent and beyond. Thank you very much.
Let's give a round of applause as well. We can do better than that. Let's give them all a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Are you feeling inspired? Yeah. Young people, are you feeling inspired? Yes, so I like that. Brilliant, brilliant. Okay, so today we are going to acknowledge, celebrate these young people. By the way, which young people in this room today are doing exciting things with themselves, with their lives? How many young people can see themselves in the statements being made? Just put your hands up. A lot of them, a lot of them, a lot of them. There's a dialogue that the President Adesina has asked for, and he wants to meet young people after this. So it will be an exciting opportunity to engage one-on-one and just hear them out. And we shall be joined by the Minister and also by Professor Dr. Vaccaro. This is the moment we've all been waiting for, ladies and gentlemen. Are you ready? Yeah. Come on, guys. You're letting me down. Walk with me, man. Are we ready? Yeah. Okay. So we are going to unveil the winners. And I'm going to, first of all, ask President Adesina to get ready to unveil the winners. And what I'm going to do, it's going to be simple. The rule is I'll be telling you a little bit about who they are, okay? What enterprise they represent. And then they shall be unveiled on the screen. How is that? Are we together? Yeah. Okay, so the first set of people President Adesina is going to unveil. The first one represents a company in Zambia, and this company produces hydroponic millet fodders for smallholder farmers to feed their livestock. And they work with 1,250 farmers through a cooperative societies. And then the other one that he will be disclosing is a company from Kenya that enhances food security by propagating drought-resistant seeds. President Adesina has been obsessed with this for so many years. Drought-resistant seeds at affordable prices and helps farmers improve productivity despite the harsh climatic conditions, and works predominantly with young people and women. And just picking up from what Mafalda was saying earlier on, it is a fact. I've traveled to at least 30 African countries, and I've reported from those countries as a journalist. I tell you, women and young people run the continent. There is no two ways about it. The women make sure the kids go to school. They make sure the food is on the table. They are the ones that do the hard work. The men also try. President Adesina, ladies and gentlemen, we shall now find out who the winners are. Yeah, the video is going to play in a few seconds. As soon as he presses play.
Coming in at position 1.
I am the founder of Maima General Dealers. This is an agribusiness enterprise propagating climate adaptation among small livestock farmers by feeding their livestock with hydroponic millet fodders.
Maima General Dealers Limited is an agribusiness enterprise operating in the small livestock sector in the central province of Zambia. The business has its operations in Wembeshi area along Mumba Road in Chibombo district, where it runs a small livestock processing facility for chickens and goats. It keeps commercial chicken layers to the maximum of 5,000 birds, broilers to the maximum of 5,000 birds, and local free-range chickens to the maximum of 2,000 birds. They also buy chickens and goats from surrounding farmers to process and sell to established markets. The main products are eggs from our commercial layers, broiler chickens, free-range local chickens, and goat meat. Their market ranges from local mini-marts and shops to restaurants, hotels, lodges, and supermarkets in Lusaka City. They also supply our commodities to the Democratic Republic of Congo. Their main aim is to promote food security and reduce farmers' reliance on rain-fed agriculture for survival.
Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause. Let's give them a round of applause. And Mpulu Kabani from Maima General Dealers, Mr. President, that's who you're unveiling. I wonder if she's available to speak to. Are we joining her now? She should be coming up on the screen now. It's a different world we live in these days, isn't it? We rely on so many things working at the same time.
Hello?
Hello. Congratulations.
Thank you. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Mpulu, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Are you able to get me on the other side?
Oh, absolutely, brilliantly. Thank you very much. for joining us, and congratulations to you, Mpulu. What does this win mean for you?
Thank you. Well, first and foremost, I'd like to thank the organizers of this great event for according me this opportunity to be able to speak to a highly dignified audience. The ADAPT Challenge Award means a lot, not only to us as Mahema General Dealers, but to my country, Zambia. Climate change has had adverse effects on the globe, and Zambia has not been spared. In this, the challenges that livestock farmers are facing of inadequate grazing land for their livestock. Therefore, we as general dealers will come up with a solution of training these farmers to produce hydroponic millet powders for their animals. And currently, we are working with a base of 1,250 farmers, but I can assure you that with this award, we will be able to raise our base to 5,000 farmers. This award means that we'll be able to establish a processing plant for the animals that will be buying from these farmers, and we'll also be able to create new jobs. As currently, we are working with 18 direct employees, but with this award, we'll be able to raise the base to 100 direct employees, of which our focus is on 70% women and 30%. So this award will bring a great impact, not only to the enterprise, but to the country at large, and also to Africa as a continent. It will be able to produce good quality products. Thank you.
Let's give a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. And because of logistical reasons, there's a slight change in the manner this thing will be running. We just have to make it work. There are a few challenges, and I'm really glad that we were able to connect with her. Let's just move on to the next winner.
Coming in at position 2.
Hello, my name is Caroline Mokuhe. I'm the founder and CEO of Implanter Seedlings Nurseries Limited. Over the years, climate change has led to drought. Harsh weather conditions cannot allow crops to grow. We at Implanter Seedlings, we are helping thousands of farmers to adopt to this sad and harsh reality by propagating for them drought-resistant seedlings to promote Sustainable Development Goals 1, 2, 3, 8, and 12 by ending poverty, ending hunger, improving health, economic growth, and responsible consumption.
Implanter Nurseries and Seedlings is based in Kenya. The company is working with smallholder farmers in East Africa, and it targets to reach 2 million farmers with drought-resistant seedlings to enable them survive by having food security and livelihoods. Their drought-resistant seedlings are keenly researched and selected varieties that can adapt to dry, hot conditions and low soil moisture content. The company sells vegetable and fruit seedlings, tree seedlings, and also offers agronomic training on crop management to farmers.
Let's give them a round of applause. And the reason you see her staying there is because she's about to receive a certificate. Okay, we couldn't do that with the previous one because you could tell there was a connectivity issue. But Caroline is going to receive a certificate. Are you going to receive a certificate, Caroline?
Yes, I will. Thank you so much. I'm so excited and grateful for that award.
Okay. Someone there has something for you, right?
Yes.
Okay, who is it? Let's see it. I tell you, we are making it work no matter what. Okay, Laura, you see the certificate is there. Let's give a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
And that certificate acknowledges that she's a winner.
Thank you so much.
And congratulations. What does this mean for you?
This is a very big win for us as a company and as for the youth that we mentor into agriculture and environmental conservation. This is also a very big win for our country, Kenya, where our government is currently focusing on youth agri-enterprises, and also for Africa towards climate resilience. And the win is even more impactful on the grassroots, the communities that work with us across our 3 branches in Kenya, whereby now this award will help us to increase our production capacity from the current 1.3 million seedlings annually to 5 million seedlings annually. These will create and increase more employment opportunities by 200% from the current 25 employees, who are all youth and women, by the way, because we are a youth and women-led organization. The funding also will come a long way in helping our research and development department, where we want to indulge more into discovering more drought-resistant seedlings, improving our product range from about 15 products to 25 products. The impact this has is that it will create opportunity for everyone in the agricultural value chain. What you're saying is that every household will have a sustainable daily meal.
Wow.
This project is so close to our hearts because we have really been looking forward to satisfying the demand that is there for our product. Because what does this mean? This means for all the awardees today is that we have won a bright future for a child in Africa. So I'm really grateful to the organizers, that is GCA and the Africa Development Bank. Thank you to the AAP program. May God bless you. For us as a company, we're just scaling the heights and hoping to impact more and more youthful organizations. Thank you so, so much.
Thank you. Let's give her a round of applause. She spoke a little longer than I would have loved, but she was saying amazing things. There was no way of interrupting her. And President Adesina, I noticed you're taking notes and smiling to yourself. She's speaking to your heart, isn't she, when she talks about making sure the right seeds are there, the varieties are increased. These are the things you've been talking about.
Absolutely. I can't but just be so excited. I've always said agriculture is cool. It's the sexiest thing you have in terms of profession. But I've been saying it for quite some time that the size of the food and agricultural business in Africa is going to be worth a whopping $1 trillion by 2030. And so when I sit here and I listen to Mpalu and I listen to Caroline, these are the young people taking on that future, delivering technology, seedlings, and talking about jobs and talking about changing their communities and giving hope to every child in Africa. That's exactly what we want. So for me, it's a wonderful day. It's a very heartwarming day for me to sit here and see that the future I've always talked about is actually here.
I want you to tell them one thing, one piece of advice, and to anybody else who's listening, who's thinking about getting into that space as well. I know as a scientist, you've worked in the seeds space for a very long time, for most of your career. Just tell them a little bit. Give them one piece of advice. What are you saying to them? What is the one takeaway they can walk away with from this?
Well, first is just to realize that, agriculture is the biggest business in the world, right? And whether you like it or not, you eat breakfast, you eat lunch, and you eat dinner. Well, some of you may not want to eat 3 times a day, but at least your doctor will tell you to take your medicines after food. And so what I want to say is that keep growing, keep being very innovative, keep making sure that you can build demand with farmers. Smallholder farmers are particularly very important. And please, in whatever you do, make sure your businesses touch women, because women literally run Africa, and women are key to food security on the continent.
Let's give him a round of applause. Congratulations again to Mpulu Kabani of Maima General Dealers in Zambia, Caroline Mukuhi Mwangi from Kim Planter Seedlings and Nurseries in Kenya. Let's go to the next set of winners. Okay.
Of arable land, only 17% of it is suitable for rain-fed agriculture. Plants do not need rain, they need water. My name is Eric Bosir, and I'm the CEO and founder of IRIHAB KE, and we are addressing the problem of over-reliance on rain-fed agriculture.
IRIHAB is a Kenyan-owned entity dealing in the supply and installation of climate-smart irrigation technology. Their products include drip irrigation options, eco-friendly water harvesting options, mulching technology, and farm planning services. Their irrigation products are powered by green energy solutions, including but not limited to solar. They provide an all-round sustainable solution to our clients. Through the use of products and services, their clients benefit from sustained weather resistance, affordable energy, an alternative to rain-fed agriculture, modern tech farming practices, and water conservation through water harvesting. The company provides their services through field teams and remote digital support to farmers through an app.
And that is Mr. Bosire. Let's give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations to you, and there is someone there with you, no?
Yeah, there is.
I love this part. I love this part where they get the certificates. Eric, who's with you?
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not sure whether they're hiding or if it's just a camera angle. But there you are, the certificate. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give him a round of applause. And that certificate acknowledges him as a winner. Eric, what does this win mean for you?
Yes.
What does this win mean for you? Briefly.
Thank you, everyone. This is really incredible. It's an amazing feeling for for us as a company and to our farmers. This means a big deal to us. Rain-fed agriculture is not sustainable anymore. If we are going to enjoy our breakfasts, if we're going to enjoy our lunch, if we're going to enjoy our supper, then we have to make sure that we have continuous food production in our continent. And this is where we come in as a company to make sure that we providing our smallholder farmers with these smart technologies that are able to be in production throughout the year without.
Okay, and Eric, what will it mean for your business? What will this award mean for your business?
This means that we're gonna impact more thousands and thousands of farmers with smart irrigation technologies and impact millions of lives through our smart irrigation technologies.
Let's give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, and big congratulations. And this category belongs to you, Patrick Vaccaro, who is from GCA. He'll be the one to give them a piece of advice at the end of it. And let's now play the next winner if we can.
Coming in at position 4.
Some years ago, I lost my dad to type 2 diabetes. Diabetes, obesity, and sometimes cancer are food-related illnesses that are avoidable if we have healthier food options. Hi, my name is Ifeolu Olatayo, and I'm the founder of Super Farmer Market Limited, Nigeria. At Super Farmer Market, we have a strong mission of making fresh, nutritious food affordable while significantly reducing greenhouse gas emissions attributed to agriculture in Africa.
By leveraging controlled environment agriculture practices and resource-smart growing technology, the company plants vegetables such as lettuces, kale, leafy greens, and herbs using hydroponics and innovatively operates farms from the rooftop of a building within the city of Ibadan, Nigeria, to harvest and sell directly to consumers at affordable prices. Unlike traditional farming, the company believes hydroponics is simply planting food in water and nutrients, which allows plants to use 95% less water, zero harmful fertilizer, and zero machinery. By farming on the rooftops in cities, the company needs zero land and reduces carbon emanating from long-distance food transportation, as well as ensuring food reaches consumers in the freshest form and shortest possible time.
Am I the only one saying to myself, wow? Wow. Let's give a round of applause. I feel like ordering some of your spinach and some of your kale. It looks amazing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, order some. I don't know how you'll get it to me. But congratulations to you. Tell us a little bit about what this award will do for your business.
Yeah, I'm very delighted to be here today to have made it to the top 10. And at Super Farmer Market, we believe our job is to build farms that unlock nutrition for everyone without mothering or motherhood. And now, Presently, our current production is at 0.6 ton per cycle. We aim that this fund will help us to increase the production capacity 8 times over. It will help us to automate our processes and achieve 5 tons per production cycle. And we will also be able to cut out emissions from agriculture by 14% in our local community and also increase access to nutrition by 1.3%. Most importantly, we are able to get these funds that would help us to implement our long-awaited franchising model and help us to set up additional 4 rooftop farms that will be demo centers for women and youth to acquire skills, get trained, and more like to advocate for more farmers to uptake climate-smart agriculture. This should be able to translate to over 1,000 direct and indirect green jobs and stimulate our local economy. These are what means validation for our innovation. It means everything to us, and we're so thankful for it.
Let's give a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. And I have to ask you, watching that, were you as inspired as I was? Patrick, did you see what I saw there? Amazing what these young people are doing. The microphones are...
inspired, but uplifted also by the realization. Again, Eric, congratulations for taking adaptation into a very practical agenda. And also understanding adaptation and sort of green energy, access to energy. I keep going, Ellen, if you don't mind. These agendas are connected. And if you look at what you just said, how important it is. This is a jobs agenda. What Africa needs is decent jobs, well-paid jobs. So I think we have here fantastic models which should be replicated at scale and speed in the future indeed.
That's very, very true. And I just want you to give a piece of advice to a young person who has the same idea, who wants to access capital, because that's a real big impediment for them. What is the one thing you're saying to them? What is that one piece of advice that you'd like to give them?
My one piece of advice is also very close to my personal DNA. You have to keep going. You have to keep going even if the microphone is off. You keep going forward. Because we see from today that those who drive, those who are creative, those who are bold, as Mafalda said, they will succeed. So I think that's sort of that mentality and approach, a forward-leaning approach, that's exactly what the AAAP stands for, and today, quite frankly, also rewards.
Let's give him a round of applause, and let's give the 2 winners a round of applause as well. We are coming there, we are getting there, and at this point, this next category belongs to Madame Duarte Mafalda, and I'd like you to play the next video.
Coming in at position 5.
I'm Uchechukwu Mabike, and this is Ms. Rejoice Hussein. We're from Simke Foods. Our proposal today is centered on the introduction of vertical stack farming, irrigation-based crop production technique to smallholder farmers in Nigeria.
Simke is an agribusiness enterprise with a clear, dedicated vision to capitalize on sustained interests in the agricultural sector of the African economy and become a globally recognized brand for natural tomato products. Taking advantage of the abundant supply of tomatoes in Kaduna State where the company is situated, it focuses on bridging key identified gaps in the tomato value chain in Nigeria, so as to boost the productivity of the agricultural subsector. The company manages to promote food security as well as works with the farmers to produce this nutritious product.
And let's give a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. It's really good to see. Of the 5 winners so far, we only have 1 guy. That's really nice. I like that. I really like that. And I think, let's give a round of applause. Let's give Rejoice a round of applause. Rejoice, congratulations. Briefly, if you can, what does this win mean for your business?
I'm so excited to be part of this initiative and for my brand, the Simke Green Global Ventures, to help us to also mitigate the effects of climate change on food security in Nigeria, and at the same time improving the agricultural techniques which we're already introducing to smallholder farmers across Nigeria at the same time, which our current focus right now is called the Vaccaro sack farming, which we're using to help farmers grow their yield. And at the same time, we're working with about 100,000, it's 10,000 farmers across tomatoes and potatoes value chain in Nigeria, projecting 100,000 farmers by 2025. And this award will mean so much to my organization by helping us scale up and at the same time push these goals to where we want it to be. Thank you very much.
Congratulations again. Thank you very much, and we wish you the very best. I'd also like to play the next winner.
Coming in at position 6.
3 million tons of waste are poorly disposed of each year around the world. According to World Health Organization, municipal solid waste is the main cause of clogging drainage channels, leading to flooding, water contamination, and respiratory illnesses. Hello, my name is Juvelin Gum, and I am the CEO and co-founder of Bleakly.
The poor disposal of waste is causing floods by clogging drains, causing respiratory issues when burned, shortening animal lifespans when consumed, and contaminating water bodies when dumped into canals and oceans. Bleakly is a waste management technology company solving these multi-hazard crises with 3 innovative solutions. Firstly, the company builds software for drones to inspect poorly disposed waste on drainage channels and waterways, and then work with informal waste collectors and youth environmental groups, eco-groups to pick up waste and properly dispose or sell to recycling companies. Their software guides drones along trajectories that finds poorly disposed waste from the collected images and outputs reports, providing early warning to flooding caused by garbage that is blocking drainage channels. The 3D flight planning software allows off-the-shelf drones to autonomously fly above and around drainage channels and waterways, covering 100% of the asset.
How impressive is that? Come on, she deserves a louder fan club than that. A very, very, very big congratulations to you, Juvenal Gumgwa. Thank you and congratulations to you. Are you with us? Is she with us?
Yes, I am here.
Oh, good, good stuff, good stuff. Tell us what this win will mean for your business.
First of all, I want to thank, I'm so grateful for this opportunity, and I want to thank the organizers for this wonderful opportunity, especially to my organization and my team. So the funding is going to help us to create jobs for over 10,000 young informal waste collectors, especially young women, to remove waste from rivers and drainage channels. It's also going to help us to achieve over $6 million US valuation and remove over 100,000 tons of waste from rivers and waterways by 2026. It's also going to help us to expand our drone technology across Cameroon and into new African countries, as well as providing socioeconomic empowerment for young people on how to remove waste from waterways and rivers, contributing to climate adaptation and water resilience. Thank you very much.
A round of applause to Juvenal, CEO, founder of that business, and she says the valuation could go to $6 million. Mafalda, what's going through your head?
I have to make the same comment as you, how delighted I am to see so many women entrepreneurs here in this group. And I wasn't even part of those that looked at the proposals.
Brilliant.
But congratulations to all your talent and entrepreneurship. And I want to say, I want to echo a little bit what Patrick was saying. Just keep going, never give up, because the life is not the straight line. It goes around and around, and every one of us faces adversities. We learn from those adversities, and as you go along, you find people that will help you. So just keep perseverance and keep persevering, and you will succeed. You will reach your goals even beyond your imagination.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give those winners so far a round of applause, and let's give Mafalda a round of applause as well. Thank you very much for that sound advice. The next session is going to be handled by the Honorable Keriako Tobiko, Cabinet Secretary, that's what they're called in Kenya, for Environment and Forestry. He is the Minister in charge of the Environment and Forestry, and he's going to unveil 4 of them. So let's start very quickly in succession. Let's go through the next 4, please.
Coming at position 7.
Good morning, I am Mateji Kenmai Jisten, presenting from Mumita Holdings, Cameroon. Our action against climate change is to produce African vegetables.
Production of food, veggies, and food crops increasingly are faced with climate change-related challenges. In Cameroon, for example, farmers have depended on rain-fed agriculture for cultivation since the earliest days. Less than 10% of vegetable and arable crop farmers are willing and resource-capable to implement irrigational technologies to support production activities. Mumita Foods with its partners tries to address these contemporary yet pertinent challenges and loopholes facing the African indigenous vegetable food supply chain. Mumita's definition of a holistic solution to the above-listed problems involves innovative, technological and group-focused interventions along every key arm of the African vegetable supply chain through ensuring sustainable continued production, ensured quality and quantity of vegetables produced, efficient post-harvest handling, transportation, processing and conservation, marketing and distribution.
Wow, just when I thought I'd had them all. Let's give a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, congratulations to you, Matieje. I wonder, what does this mean for your business? Congratulations, you're doing amazing work. What does this mean for your business?
Thank you so much for the opportunity to partake in this fabulous adventure. So this competition actually gives us the opportunity to give hopes to farmers, especially those involved in the African indigenous vegetable chain. The probability or the possibility to grow vegetables year-round, increasing their total output, consequently their financial, their income, and hence their livelihood. This will be done through the use of smart technologies, especially low-cost greenhouses and solar panel irrigation system to boost year-round production, consequently increasing their total production. And again, this platform gives us the opportunity not only to be at the level of the 2,000 farmers with whom we work now, but giving us the opportunity to extend our network to all of Cameroon and Sub-Saharan Africa, giving us in 3 to 4 years, why not attain 500,000 to 1 million farmers, taking them under our canopy, giving them the possibility to produce year-round, increase their income and their livelihood.
Amazing. It sounds absolutely amazing. Let's give a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, and congratulations. Is there someone to give you your certificate? Is someone handing you a certificate? Oh, brilliant. Watch this part. She's getting her certificate. She's a winner, ladies and gentlemen. And she's getting it from another woman. Congratulations. Thank you, congratulations, and best wishes with the business. Shall we go on to the next one, please?
Thank you.
Coming in at position 8.
Hi, everyone. My name is Akin Shefela Bui, and I'm the CEO and also a co-founder at the brand Salubata. First, I have a bachelor's and master's degree in environmental toxicology and pollution management. I have a 5-year work experience as an environmental scientist. And here I am as a co-founder at Salubata. And at Salubata, we simply make shoes from recycled plastic waste.
Over 381 million tons of plastic wastes are produced annually. More people reuse plastics rather than recycle or upcycle them to reduce the volume. Approximately 90.5% of these wastes have never been recycled, which has resulted in over 5 trillion plastics still floating in their canals and oceans till date. Many of the downhill impacts of these pollutants also affect those in the underserved communities the most, especially the women. At Salubata, the mission is to invent lifestyle technologies that help people and the planet. The company is a team of shoe designers and environmental scientists that imagined if we could convert all these plastic wastes to footwears, making money and reducing waste simultaneously. Salubata has bootstrapped till date to reach 900 recurrent and paying customers, sold 1,400 shoes, and generated $150,000 in revenue.
Congratulations to you. Beside every successful man is a woman. Let's give them a round of applause. Good to see both of you there. Do your shoes come in size 14?
All sizes.
All sizes. I'd like to order a pair of size 14s, please. Congratulations to you. And what does this mean for your business?
Yes, thank you very much. This win means a lot to us, to Nigeria, and to sustainability in Africa. At Salubata, our niche of customizable shoes from plastic waste help curtail the downhill impact of these pollutants in underserved regions, while also creating jobs for women in these regions. With this award, we'll be able to convert 1.5 million PET plastic waste shoes per annum, empower over 500 women in underserved communities, and create over 200 jobs per year. This fund would be a primary enabler for us to commercialize our innovation and scale beyond our current community. Thank you so much. We are grateful for this award.
Brilliant. Let's give them a round of applause and best wishes. Where is someone else coming to give you a certificate, or are you giving each other a certificate? Oh, are you going to hand it over to her? Congratulations to the both of you. Congratulations and well done. Let's go to the next one, if we may.
Coming in at position 9.
Bidas is a social enterprise. We've been in operation for the last 10 years. We believe in linking and improving agricultural supply chain systems. We've been in operational for quite some time. We offer customized training services, risk management services, technical efficient analysis services to improve the supply chain in the agriculture system.
Sustainable Builders Zambia focuses on improving the functionality of the agricultural supply chain through building business management capacity, upgrading management systems, integrating digital solutions, and improving access to financial products and services for key actors in the agricultural market. Within the business and finance investment area, Sustainable Builders Zambia focuses on the following strategies that tackle multiple constraints in the smallholder relevant agricultural supply chain. 1. Small business development, where the company supports the delivery of better intermediation services to large agribusiness partners and a range of market services to smallholders that assist farmers to improve and diversify their production systems. 2. Promoting digital solutions, where the company supports the technology industry to identify and test digital solutions that can potentially create efficiencies and improve commercial relationships between all levels in the agricultural supply chain. 3. Structured markets, where the company supports private market systems that offer structured trade, transparency and security, and an equitable distribution of the profits of agricultural trade through the supply chain.
A very big congratulations to Joseph. And very briefly, Joseph, what does this mean for your business?
Well, it means a lot to us. Like President Adesina had made mention to say Africa depends on agriculture, and we have identified that there's a gap in the agriculture supply chain, and we have gone ahead to innovate and bridge that gap. This means a lot to us. It means that we are going to reach more than 300 smallholder farmers in the next coming years, and we believe in something at Sustainable Builders, and that begs the question of why we do what we do. We believe a well-managed agriculture supply chain system has the potential to transform lives, provide jobs, and help reduce the impact of climate change. So with those few words, I believe the future looks bright for Zambia and Africa, so to say.
Thank you very much. Round of applause. When he says the future belongs to young people, he means it. So let's give him a deserved round of applause. Come on, man. And one last person. Let's play that last video if we can.
Coming in at position 10.
Over the past decades, climate change has become a major global issue. Its devastating effect on the environment is on the rise, affecting productivity and also quality of grains as well as food security. The deal is to train these farmers in good agronomic processes to help them adopt best practices in controlling bushfires and soil erosion, tree planting as well, while serving as a market between smallholder farmers and off-takers in the market.
Global Farms and Trading Company Limited, GFTC, seeks to contribute to the drive modernization of Ghana's agricultural sector through the provision of a wide range of agribusiness services for speedy growth of various commodities value chains while ensuring consistent protection of the natural environment. Global Farms is a producer of grains, maize, rice and soybeans. Its mission is to be recognized by business associates and competitors as one of the top producers of quality grains and poultry products in sub-Saharan Africa and to make sure that productivity translates into prosperity and growth for everyone involved within the production value chain. Through a long-term commitment to this mission, the company is known for developing innovative products that are environmentally advantaged.
Let's give them a round of applause. A very, 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 very huge congratulations to you. How are you feeling right now, Tahiru? What does this win mean for you?
I feel great. It's so great to be part of the top 10 winners of this adaptative challenge. So for us at Global Farm and as a country as a whole, it is an opportunity for us to be major frontliners, championing the cause of climate adaptation and resilience in Ghana, and make sure that productivity translates into prosperity and growth for everyone within the production value chain. We also see this win as a major move to contribute to the drive modernization of Ghana agricultural service sector through the provision of wide range of services to smallholder farmers. This will also help us to expand our coverage from 500 smallholder farmers to 10,000 smallholder farmers by the year 2026, and to also create employment for about 600 youth who will serve as field officers by 2026. We also want to be known as an organization that develops innovative products that are environmentally advantaged. Thank you.
A very, 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 very huge congratulations to you. And let's give them all a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very deserved women. As a kid growing up, I used to make my own toys using wire. Innovation lives in Africa. There is absolutely no doubt. And if we've learned anything from these winners, it's that Africa has never changed. Young people are still doing things. Only now, they're creating their future. I'd like to invite you, Honorable Tobiko, to make remarks. I'm not sure who's turning us off.
Well,
but I'd like to invite you to make remarks, sir. But I'd like to start from the point where you said, I hope they're all women.
Actually, sorry, not remarks. Let me just make 2 or 3 observations. Absolutely profound observation. One, of the 10 winners, only 2 are men. There's another half.
2.5.
So 75% are women. And even for the 2, I believe there must be women behind them. So the point here is, and this is so true. You empower a woman, you empower the entire community. You empower a man, you empower his household. That is the difference, and that is the message. And the salvation for Africa belongs in our mothers, our sisters, and our grandmothers, and our daughters, and so on. That is where the salvation, the transformation of Africa belongs. That's where the investment must, the drivers. That's the first point. The second point that I note is that you ask a very pointed question. What does this mean to your business or to you yourself? I was waiting to hear any one of them say, I will get rich and get richer. I will earn more profit and get. None of them say this. He said, I will expand and impact my community positively. I will employ more. I will benefit more to my community. No selfish, profit-driven. It's about, yes. So that is the other point. It is not, you don't measure your success, business success, merely by your profit margin, the balance in your bank account, but how you impact and enable and empower others. That's the second observation. The third observation that I make is this, and that should be the fund. All of them are fairly actually highly educated, masters, as you know, highly educated and very articulate, very skillful. You know, there is this false notion that agriculture and agribusiness belongs in the illiterate, the uneducated. Now you can tell that that is not true. And finally, it's about compatibility with environmental sustainability. It's not just about profit margin. So today, I'm sure President and Patrick, I am a very, very inspired person. Africa is in good hands. It's in the hands of our youth, and more so of our ladies. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a very powerful session. Let's give our panelists a round of applause. You know, they've sat there each one of them is very busy, but they've sat through this with us just to give you a sense of how important what we've been doing here today is. To conclude, I just want to again invite Professor Anthony Nyong, the Regional Director for Africa, Global Center on Adaptation. Sir.
Thank you very much, Alan. I fought tears in my eyes through this process. And let me tell us that it was so difficult to choose 10 winners out of over 2,000 applications. Very difficult. So we have 5 more that we thought we've debated. Where do we finance these 5? Brilliant ideas. The 5 came from DRC, from Benin, from Algeria, from Niger, from Comoros. And I know that maybe there was a slight issue of the language problem, but for these ones, we're going to support them first with business incubation, with acceleration, training, and mentorship. And we're convinced that by early next year, we will be able to finance these 5. So I'm looking up to Patrick, I'm looking up to President Adesina, that these 5 brilliant projects will have funding, $500,000. There is no better time to be an African youth. The can-do spirit is still there. How many of us know where mobile money was invented?
M-Pesa.
It wasn't invented here. It was in Africa. The people are still there. And I look forward to Forbes magazine 10 years from now to see those rich people. I want to see these names on that Forbes magazine. Thank you very much.
Let's give them a round of applause. It's been an absolute pleasure to be a part of this. Absolute pleasure. And just keep in mind that the last 4 letters in African are. The last 4 letters in African are. The last 4 letters in African are. I can. So just bear that in mind at the end of it all. So whatever you're going through, whatever innovation you're trying to cook up, wherever you're cooking it up, bear in mind that you can. Before I go, I just want to acknowledge the support, the team that has put all this together. It's taken a lot of hard work. Behind each of these 10, there's 10,000 others. To filter them, distill them, and find these 10 required a team, a very solid team. And I want to acknowledge, first of all, from GCA, Aramide Abe. I had to run away from them yesterday because they wanted to keep me awake all night discussing this event. I bailed on them. Aramide is over there. Let's give her a round of applause. And also want to acknowledge another woman who's been working very hard through pain and worked exceptionally hard. Edith Adera from the African Development Bank has also been working very hard on this. Another team of women. My name is Alan Kasuja. I present a podcast on the BBC called Africa Daily. It is the most profound podcast on the continent. It will teach you a lot about the continent. Have a listen to it. and I'm also the presenter of Newsday, which is on the BBC World Service. Thank you very much. And if you're a young person, you have an opportunity to engage these honorable people, so stay behind so our conversation can continue. If you are young at heart, you're welcome to join us. It's open invitation, and if you're ready, we shall begin. But before we get to that, can I just propose a group photograph for the four of you, please?
Let's see if in the background.
Okay. Okay, as a photographer, I'm going to direct something here. I'd like you to shoot wide angle so that you capture everybody in the background, including the winners. Let's shoot on a wide angle, yeah? And this is the part where I join the photograph. Yes. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, sir. Asante sana. Thank you, sir. Asante sana. Shukran. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Can I just give me a second? Can I just propose a really quick for my good stuff? Thank you.
Excuse me, you're not moderating the youth
I am.
dialogue? Oh, you are?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Very well done.
Umhombo. Asante sana.
Yeah, Patrick, are you going to engage with the young guys now directly?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the youth dialogue is going to start in a few moments. The young people here.
You have my card?
Yeah. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we need to get started with the next event. Yes, yes. And yes, after that brilliant session of taking photographs, we shall now begin the interaction. If you're watching us live, what's happening now is basically all these photographs, young people excited to see people that they normally not interact with. And it's a brilliant opportunity for them. Non, sadly. Je comprends pas le français. There is a lot of excitement here. Okay, shall we start?
I think it's.
We're going to, there will be young people there. Yeah, I'll figure it out, don't worry.
I would say, you know what? 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Are there still folks online?
Yeah.
I think if there could come up with.
I'll do it.
But can you see, do we know people?
No, I'll do it. We'll have a conversation. Yeah. We'll have a proper conversation. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we do need to start the session now. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, yes, you are. Yes. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this session. Shall we have some? We're going to start a very quick conversation here. It shouldn't last too long because these distinguished gentlemen are busy. Thank you very much. Let's end those conversations. I'm taking over now. Thank you. Excusez-moi, monsieur. Merci beaucoup. Thank you, sir. Okay, thank you very much. It's been a profound session, wouldn't you say? First of all, let's just go back a little bit, President Adesina. Let's start with you, talking about your general vision for young people. What are you seeing, and what is this idea that you have?
You know, today it's so exciting for me because, you know, with somebody who come from my background in agriculture, I've always felt that the future of Africa was not in oil. I knew it was not in gas. Nobody drinks the oil and nobody smokes the gas. But I know it was always in agriculture. You know, and agriculture has to be made modernized. Agriculture has to be more productive, more efficient. You know, and you're talking about an industry that's going to be, the value is going to be $1 trillion in just 8 years from now. And so, but the key for Africa to be competitive in agriculture is to make sure that it's deploying the best technologies. It's actually modernizing rapidly with the digital information technologies. So listening to all these young people was terrific. But also running it as a business, not a way of life. And so when I was Minister of Agriculture in Nigeria, you know, I always said, you know, agriculture is the coolest business that you can think of. And so that future that I was talking about, young people in agriculture, is actually happening. You know, I was talking to Patrick. One of the winners who's actually on the screen is Ife Olua. Can you see me? If it's, can you, yeah. You know, when I won the World Food Prize, I was given an award of $250,000. And my wife and I used that award to create a foundation, which is called the World Hunger Fighters Foundation. And we wanted to make sure that we can support young people, future leaders in agriculture, right? Long after I'm gone, they're going to have to be bigger leaders than myself. And I wanted to make sure that we were investing in that future. Well, Ife Olua happens to be one of those fellows. that it has nothing to do with her winning this at all, because I didn't even know until I was on this panel to see that. So what I'm basically saying is this. I am excited that Africa's agriculture is really going to boom. It's really going to thrive, because the young people, once they've gotten in there, they are going to totally revolutionize.
I want to pick up on what you just said about her. How did you help her?
Well, we set up this foundation basically to say we identify young people that we wanted to send to the best international agricultural research centers in the world to give them the exposure to global businesses so that they can actually start their own businesses, so that they can go into agriculture as a business. She happens to be one of several. We did about more than 10 of them that are like her. And so basically is investing in the future. And so when I see her with what she's doing, and also the businesses here today, all the way from drought-tolerant crops to those that are doing drones, to those that are doing plastics and using drones to actually monitor the floods and all of those things, to those that are doing hydroponics for urban agriculture, and for those that are deploying the latest technology. So that just tells you that once agriculture gets in the hands of young people, it takes off. Look at packaging, look at logistics and all of that. So I look at this today, I feel fulfilled, I feel excited, and I actually will commit the bank that we will, where is my director, Tony Young? How much did you say we needed again? $500,000. For those that haven't won the prize? Yeah, so I commit that we will do that. We will give the $500,000.
A round of applause.
Because we always say, that the future belongs to the young people.
Yeah.
It really doesn't. Wow. It's the now that belongs to them. You got 485 million young people in Africa. And I believe that their hopes, their aspirations should not be to migrate out of Africa. Their future must lie in Africa that is productive, efficient, growing well, and able to create massive amount of jobs. Look at one of them was talking about creating so many jobs. One was saying they were going to reach 2 million farmers. That's what it is. And so we got to make sure that we continue to support businesses of young people. And this is why I want to say that today is just a terrific day for me to listen to this. I can see that the future, in fact, it's now.
Do you want to pick up from that, Professor?
So my takeaways of this session, but also of the session earlier this week with African heads of state and government, is not something of pessimism or optimism, but it's about being even more determined. Because I think outside Africa, there is still this notion of doom and gloom. And the reality is, the climate emergency is happening, unfolding as we speak in Africa. Thousands of lives are lost every year. Millions of livelihoods are being impacted. We should not be naive about that. But what we saw today with these winners is this notion, this is a people's agenda. It's about people. And people and profitability and investing in human capital is the way to go. And you, Alan, you said several times, the future of Africa is bright. And I agree with that, but it's not a given. This is not a given. And that is why I want to bring it back to Glasgow, because President Andersina and I, we are here in Glasgow. There is something to play for in Glasgow. We launched the Africa Adaptation Acceleration Program. It's the response to the needs of African governments, of African leaders. And I think maybe, President Andersina, you may think this is hyperbole, but the AAAP is delivering. We are moving. You see it here today, we are moving. But the reality is also 12.5 billion is on the table from the African Development Bank, 12.5 billion. But we're asking for 25 billion. So with today's sort of success and impact, I also want to call on development partners here to come forward with their commitments towards AAAP. Because we're delivering, but we can do so much more. I'm delighted that President Adesina commits another $500,000 to this program.
Are you also about to commit
And
another half?
I'm about to say, let's split it as we have done before. So we'll commit to join forces, but there is so much to play for here in Glasgow and beyond, because 10 winners should be 100 winners, should be 1,000 winners, should be 1,000,000 winners, because at the end of the day, we're making progress on adaptation, Alan.
Yeah.
But the climate crisis is spinning out of control. So we need to accelerate and we need to do it fast.
Okay, I asked for a microphone. Can we have that microphone? Give it to that lady in the corner. Just introduce yourself really quickly. We don't have too much time. If you can stand up, introduce yourself. Take off your mask so we see you. And
my name is Juliet Grace Luede. I am from Uganda. I think what I want to speak of is the issue of agriculture that we've alluded to. Yes, we want to...
I think the reason why I really wanted you to speak specifically was to repeat the conversation we had outside about access to finance. You hear that the money is there, but the question is, how do you access it? Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, speak to that.
So yes, the money is there. The promise is the 100 billion, the 25 billion that we are speaking of, but then the access, the requirements are too many. As a young person, I don't have equity. Even when I go to a bank to ask for a loan, I don't have the equity that I require to be able to take out that loan, and then I fail to pay for it. Even with the grants that we are given, many a times we fail to manage these grants because we don't know, we've not been given the capacity to. How do you manage the grant that you've given, so that by the end of that day, it makes more money?
Okay,
so
propose a solution to that.
Okay, that's a tight spot. So the solution that I propose, which has actually been given with the program that has been launched, when you give me the money, teach me, you're the CEO, you know, you've been handling money for years. Can you work with me and walk this journey with me, that even when I have the money, it grows more money, such that I make both of us proud by the end of the day?
That's interesting.
Yeah, well, let me actually get into it, because she's asking a very, very important question. Both for her, but also the businesses that have just won this award. Every little thing must grow. And I'm one of those that I have big ambitions for Africa, really big ambitions. I didn't get elected to this job to think of little things. The biggest asset that Africa has, it is youth. About 485 million of them. And it's actually quite shocking that we don't have financial ecosystems around them. And so we've decided at the African Development Bank to work with African countries to help them to create what's called the Youth Entrepreneurship Investment Banks. Okay. Let her listen to me. I want her to listen to what I'm saying. Because the issue is the young people don't need freebies. They don't need handouts. See all the great ideas that all you people have, the entrepreneurship, the creativity, the innovation. But those ideas have to be funded. Mark Zuckerberg is a young person. Bill Gates, when he set up Microsoft, was a young person. So I want to see those young people in Africa thriving, their businesses thriving, so that we can actually have big people also in Africa. But that requires that we have the financial ecosystem around them. And so the Youth Entrepreneurship Investment Bank, which we are currently working on developing right now with many countries, will do the following. First, it will create a brand new financial ecosystem around all the young businesses of the youth around in Africa. And in doing so, it will not be your usual banking system in which a young person walks into a bank, you're 24, how old are you, please? Okay, you're 26, you enter the bank, they say go and bring your tax receipts and to go and bring everything for the last 40 years, okay? So basically you don't qualify. And secondly, when you walk into regular banks and you look at it, people see young people as risks. They don't see them as assets, right? So this Youth Entrepreneurship Investment Bank will be run by young people, smart bankers, smart investors, who are investing in Africa's assets today to unlock that capacity for the future. And the way they will finance it is that they will finance you in a life cycle model. In other words, in the early phases of your businesses, you will have technical grants, technical assistance support to grow your business, to design your businesses. Secondly, you have access to debt finance, because that's what you need in the early stage of your business, but on the concessional terms. Then as your business actually grows, you have a lot more equity investment into those businesses, because equity is what makes your business to really grow. And so you can imagine after, let's say, about 15 years of investment in a series of businesses, that you have to exit the equity investment. Let's say the amount you owe to the government is 15%, okay, that you have to pay in terms of taxes to government. So you could basically say out of that 15%, 9% goes to the government, and 6% goes right back into the Youth Entrepreneurship Investment Banks to reboost their capital into the future. So these are the kind of banks we're talking about. They're not going to be brick and mortar banks. So you see all the young people don't go into, they use digital finance, and that's what we are going to actually deploy. So just to let you know that those institutions are coming, because for me, I go around around Africa, and I hear people say we are doing youth empowerment, youth empowerment, and youth empowerment. I don't know what it means, because I just feel that the people saying they are doing youth empowerment are simply empowering themselves. I don't see things changing for young people. But we need to address market failures and missing institutions, and have institutions that will help to nurture, to grow, and to promote young businesses of Africa. If they can have Zuckerberg, and you can have Bezos, and you can have Bill, a good friend of mine, why can't we have many of those in Africa? And that's what I want us to see happen.
Wow, round of applause then. How much time do we have left?
2 minutes. Oh, we have time.
10 minutes. Okay, if I may come to you, Professor. Raising capital, that's one solution being proposed by President Adesina. What else are you suggesting?
I think also good proposals, good business propositions bringing forward is
that's
vital.
very important.
I think it's vital to come up. We saw from these winners today, they have an idea, they have conceptualized it, they tried it, they failed, I suspect, in the early phases, but they have something to stand on. I think it's really vital that you come forward when you walk into that bank and that banker talks to you, that you have something to show for. I mean, and in that sense, that requires that level of not only sophistication, but also focus, that there are opportunities. I think today's session really is a sort of a wake-up call that the adaptation agenda, which we have been working on for so many years, is an opportunity agenda, but requires concrete ideas and propositions.
And it requires training.
Yeah. I want to also say something about young people and women in particular that you were saying. We have a program at the bank that's called the AFAWA. It's called Affirmative Finance Action for Women in Africa. And this program is to help to leverage $5 billion for businesses that are actually run by women in Africa. We've launched that program. This year alone, we're running it in 2 ways. There is a guarantee facility of $428 million provided to us by France. President Macron has been fantastic, and other G7 leaders, which we are using as a guarantee facility to leverage $3 billion for women businesses in Africa through commercial financial institutions, big, small, and micro. The other one is that the bank itself is mainstreaming lending to women into all of our operations. Today at the African Development Bank, you cannot get anything approved at our bank unless you can show what's going to do for women. 100% of all of our projects are gender marked at the bank. So we got to show accountability to the women who run Africa. But let me just give you some things about this program. These AFAR programs this year, if you look at the Access Bank in Rwanda, anybody here from Rwanda? You have the We Power that's there. The Development Bank of Nigeria have actually lent almost $83 million to over 77,000 women. You see the Centenary Rural Development Bank in Tanzania are doing the same. We're working with the Raw Bank in DRC Congo. We're going to launch a program with them at the end of this year. And the First Monumental Bank in Nigeria is also doing that. So we have all these things that are growing. But I'll tell you why I actually did this. It was in 1992. I took a flight on a plane that was just called the Air Afrique. in those days. And some of you are not born, so you will never know. But I was on that flight, and I entered the plane, and all the people on the plane, all the women were all market women. And they were carrying baskets on their head. And, they were all like this, very, very fat. Well, hold on. So they could hardly make it right through the alleys, the aisles. So I realized they were all the same sizes. But I had a computer. Those computers in those days, the compact.
Yeah.
It's like, we used to have this thing look like a suitcase. That's your computer. You really struggle to pick it up. So I was trying to put it up there. And all these women were putting their market things there, everything. They were, then all of a sudden the straps started coming up. I said, pop, pop, pop. They had tapes. They taped all the bales of clothing all around. So because the custom people were overtaxing them. All of a sudden I realized they were not as fat as I thought. They were all like this. But they were actually putting all these bales of clothing up there. And so the hostess asked me, he said, "You seem lost. What do you need?" I said, "I just want to put my computer there." He said, "How many times do you take this plane in a week?" I said, "It depends." He said, "No, these women take it twice a day. This is their plane. So you give me your computer, we'll put it in the hole downstairs, make more room for the women." So when I became president of the African Development Bank, that experience was in my head, that I knew that the businesses, that the women run the businesses of Africa. They are the ones that make it tick, but they don't have access to that finance. And that's what actually motivated us creating this affirmative finance action to leverage $5 billion for women. Because when women win, then Africa wins.
That's a really profound point. Let's give it a round of applause. One of the ladies, another lady, a lady with a question? One more question? Did you want to say something?
Okay, yeah, well, not a direct question, because, thank you. Good day, sir. I'm Ringnichit. I'm a farmer. I'm from Plateau State.
This is the face of the farmers in Africa at the moment. Very, very cool.
Thank you. Into organic farming, and I can tell you that access to finance, like he has clarified, has been a big issue.
Tell me a story to illustrate why it's been a big issue. When you say it's been a big issue.
It's been a big issue because I need collateral to get loans from the bank, and then the repayment, sorry, excuse me, I'm a little bit overwhelmed by this, okay? Well, the interest. So the interest that I get, it's,
Okay, so let me guide you through this.
Yes.
Have you borrowed money from a bank before?
No, I've not.
Okay.
Because when I went to get the process to get the loans, and then I saw actually the interest I was going to pay, so I just decided.
Give me a number, illustrate that with numbers. How much were you looking for and how much were you going to pay back?
Okay, I was looking for about 10 million.
Naira?
Yes, 10 million naira, and that's about 8 years ago. I was looking for 10 million naira. And the interest I was getting was about 12-13% on it. And it was a whole lot for me at that moment. So we started the little farming, subsistence farming, and I was able now to get some partners. But now what I really want to talk about is the conflict has actually affected farming in Plateau State, the clash between the pastoralists and the herders
and the farmers,
and the farmers. And personally, my own farm was affected. I just woke up one day and the person tending the farm told me that there was some cattle on my farm, and I went there and my green beans and my tomatoes were destroyed. And you see, that has actually been the insecurity.
And that makes it much more difficult for banks to lend given those sorts of risks.
Yes.
How do you mitigate those, Mr. President?
Well, let me let Tim.
Yes.
Yes. So the point you just raised about the conflict between sort of crop production and pastoralism, I think when we displayed in our report last week, given climate change, given water scarcity, those conflicts will increase, right? What is the best way to mitigate against those risks is precisely what we have been launching here in Glasgow, this Africa Adaptation Program, different forms of crop productivity, different forms of sharing solutions. We as an organization, the Global Center on Adaptation, our reason, our business case is sharing solutions. So what I would like to discuss with you after this session, how can we support you concretely on the ground with the solutions which you need at your farm, which we can then eventually bring to scale.
Let's give him a round of applause. Let's give him a round. Yes.
You know, just on the point you raised, please sit down. Yeah. You know, what you raised about the issue of the conflict, and as Patrick was saying, it's the reality of climate change. You find the isolates are moving downwards. The herders who are actually looking for places for their cattle are following the isolates downwards, right? And so the communities that used to live together very well are now engaged in a fierce battle of degradation of their commons. Okay, that's really what is happening. But I think there's a power to the role of new technology. So think of the following. So we could actually literally look at all the livestock that we have in any given country, right? And have them to be tagged, right? You tag them, and you essentially will know how much animals you have. You will know what the carrying capacities will be of various areas in which you can direct those pastoralists to. You will use a mobile phone app that will update information, georeference information for them, and where they are going to actually move. Because if you're driving your car, you won't drive without a GPS, right? But what happens is that the pastoralists don't have that. And so when they just see anything green, and green is food for all their cattle. So that creates all these conflicts that we have. And I always say, you know, I was talking to some of the pastoralists when I was minister, just before I became president of the bank. I said, well, look, do you want to walk the longest distance to be in the Guinness Book of Records? Is that what the issue is? No, they don't. They are just looking for where to have good access to feeding things for their farmers. So I would say using, you know, digital technology, remote sensing data, vegetation data, using cloud computing, and being able to figure out the carrying capacity of different areas, and putting that information for decision making, which is part of what we are doing in the African Adaptation Acceleration Program, which is the first one with providing digital solutions, advisory services to 30 million farmers and pastoralists. That's what we are trying to do. And finally is we just have to move to ranches. If you have public ranches, you can move to public ranches in which you can even have your pastoralists be provided with access to water, free veterinary services for their animals, right? And if you tag an animal and you have cattle rustling, I can actually get you where those animals are with digital information. So what I'm trying to say is that, you know, we need to deploy science, we need to deploy digital information technology. We need to change and recognize that these things are not just things that just happen because people just suddenly avoided each other. It's really the communal resources are being crunched, and this is why we have these challenges that you face. But one last thing I'll say, because as a woman business, and I know that we have others that are also women investors that are here. You look, you look at the default rate.
That's important. Default rate, for those who don't know, is...
So you don't pay back your money, that's considered a default. Okay. But if you look at it for women in Africa, the default rate for women in Africa is less than 2%.
They pay back.
So which means 98% of women pay back their loans. So the very fact that she asked that question, and she asked that question that women don't have access to finance, it actually makes me to begin to ask the question, what are we guaranteeing the women for? What we are guaranteeing the women for is a discrimination risk. Because if somebody is a counterparty that is actually, I'm lending money to and is paying me back 98%, what's my problem? Wow. I should lend more to that. So I think there's a lot of discrimination in the financial system. I think there's a gender bias in the financial systems. And that's why for us at the African Development Bank, we want to get a system of rating all commercial banks in Africa based on volume of lending to women. the terms of lending to the women, and the impact of their lending to the women. Because there's absolutely no reason why banks are not lending massively to women. So we're just basically compensating them for bias, you know, and all that is going to change.
Ladies and gentlemen, shall we give them a round of applause? Thank you very much to Patrick Vaccaro, who has to leave us now, and also...
I want to make an announcement before we go. Patrick and I are so delighted and excited about what you've done, and thank you very much to Tony and everybody else. Please give me a round of applause, all the teams. Thank you all very, very much. But because your views are important to us in Glasgow and after for all the great work that we are doing, we would like to let you know that we will be setting up an African Youth Climate Action Council. The Africa Youth Climate Action Council will do the following. First, you will actually try to carry the voices of the youth into all programming and policy decision-making that has to do with climate on the continent. Secondly, the nationally determined contributions and the long-term strategies of Africa that still needs to be developed. We only have 2 countries that have long-term strategies, which is Benin and South Africa, right? And South Africa. We would like the youth to lead a lot of those things because, as I said, and he said in his remarks, the future is yours. And if you do not get that into the LTS today, those things will not be done. And thirdly is we want to actually will convene from time to time this kind of dialogue that we are having here. But it will not be us. We will facilitate it with the Africa Youth Climate Council, which will really be the young people saying, well, look, we are going to take charge of our future and we want to engage you leaders about that. We provide a platform for that. So we are announcing that we will be doing that today as a powerful thing for the young people of Africa.
Adeshina, thank you very much. Patrick Vaccaro, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are, thank you very much.